Hello, this is Casper from the Joyful Tomato blog, and today I'm going to talk about a common tomato problem that happens to a lot of us, and it's extremely frustrating. It manifests as black spots on tomatoes, or black fungus, and this is what it looks like. And sometimes it's called blossom end rot or blossom end blight, whatever you want to call it. Bottom line is it's extremely frustrating because it happens at the end of fruit maturation when you think your tomatoes are all ready and about to become red and juicy and tasty. You're going to be able to eat them. And all of a sudden you notice this black fungus, which usually starts at the bottom at the base of the fruit. So a couple facts about this thing first. As I said, it begins as a few harmless looking black spots towards the end of fruit maturation, but it can very quickly turn into a very giant rotting fungus that eats the tomatoes from the inside out and will consume the entire tomato if not removed. So it's very crucial and very important that when you do notice this happening to your tomatoes, and this doesn't usually just happen to one tomato, it will affect the entire plant if you don't remove the affected tomatoes. Usually with proper measures, taking the proper measures, you can save the rest of the fruit on the plant, but sometimes you might lose the whole plant to the disease. So yes, please, if you see this happening to your tomatoes, remove the affected tomatoes right away. So now the obvious question, why does this happen? Number one reason is irregular water moisture, and this is really the main reason for tomato problems, for the bulk of most tomato growing problems, is irregular water moisture. Not watering the plants enough being most of the case. A lot of experts in tomato gardening have some weird and wacky theories about watering, but what I've found out to work most of all from my experience and from teaching others is that watering your tomatoes as much as possible is the best. You can't overwater tomatoes, and if you do, you'd probably have to flood them. But you will usually see tomato year and tomato blight like this happening when you haven't watered the plants enough, or if there was a particular dry spell in your area. Maybe you left the house for a couple of days and it was dry, and then stuff starts happening to your tomatoes. If you keep a regular watering routine, it usually doesn't happen. Now, particularly if you grow your plants in pots, you have to be aware because your tomatoes are especially at risk to this disease. And that's because, coming back to the water moisture issue, when you grow your plants in pots, the water evaporates quicker and causes the irregular water moisture problems. A key tip about pots too is don't use small pots or dark black pots. And coming back to the base issue here, if you have a small pot, again, the moisture in the pot will evaporate quicker, causing all kinds of problems. Most people who grow tomatoes for the first time, it's really funny watching them. They put these plants, which are really big plants. If a tomato plant's allowed to grow to its full capacity, you'll get a 6, 7, 8 foot plant sometimes. But you see people putting them in these little tiny buckets or paint buckets. That's not enough soil for the root system to expand, to grow, and not enough soil to keep the moisture, which is so crucial to the life, and health of the plant. So what I recommend to people, before you even replant your plants into the pots, make sure it's a large pot. Something that you could at least fit a basketball in, or 2 basketballs. That's a good amount of room for the soil, 16 gallons or so. Another key tip about the pots is don't use cheap plastic black pots. A lot of the time you want to cheap out and you go to the hardware store and you get these black plastic pots for $1 each. Those are the worst because the color black attracts sunlight the most. And again, it will cause all the soil in your pots to evaporate and cause all kinds of problems. So that's it for my tip of the day. Visit joyfultomato.com/blog for more great tomato gardening advice. Thank you.